All right, Chuck's Chat YouTube, week 6 college football before we get started here. Last week, let me pull up Ferry's text. Last week, Ferry went 6-6. He's now 30-31-1 on the year. 2-3 on locks. His lock was Oklahoma last week. They got boat raced by TCU.
What a bomb.
I went 7-4. So I'm 31-28-1, 3-2 on locks. My lock was UCLA. And Ben, how'd you do?
I went 15-15. My lock did not hit. My lock was Minnesota. They lost outright. And I'm 56-47-3, 2-1 in locks.
And Ferry's out. He is at a Kygo concert, so we welcome on. We needed some the higher up said we needed some diversity. Tom Perosi, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you guys having me on. It's a pleasure to always be on a Chuck podcast. I will say though, I'm not super well versed in college football, but I do have some pretty hot takes that I guess you guys will hear later on in the show. But
you might be better than Ferry. He's square, so as long as you're not square.
I'm not square.
You might get invited back.
Yeah. I'm Vegas's. I'm number 1 on their want list.
So even though you weren't on the show, what we usually do to start, we'll do best bet and bet regret from the week prior. So what was your last week college football? What was your best bet and bet regret?
I had one college football bet last week, and it was not a regret at all. Every week I've been just hammering whoever's playing against my alma mater, Temple. I have no faith in Kurt Warner's son. He's not a real good quarterback. So, yeah, that hit last week. No regrets. 1-0 last week.
There you go.
Yeah, love it.
Ben, what about you?
Best bet, Mississippi State -4. Was in doubt a little bit, but they pulled through at the end. And then Minnesota -12. They lost outright. Was my worst bet.
You didn't take
real kick in the balls. No, I did not take Pitt. I did, but not a lot of money. not like a sizable amount of money like Minnesota.
That's gotta be. Oh, okay.
I've got to respect the interim head coach game now for the rest of my life because I was talking a lot of shit about it going into the game, and then we lost outright.
So not to put the cart before the horse here, but are you on Wisconsin?
No.
Oh, so you still don't respect the interim coach game?
Well, I'm not going to bet it, but okay. My team.
You're not going to bet Northwestern.
I'm not against the law. I'm not against the logic at all.
Okay. Best bet. I'll go with Mississippi State too, Ben. That was a good one. And then bet regret, Charlotte, first team that UTEP has ever beaten in the.
Also, UCLA +3, both of us. Credit us for being sharp.
Credit us on that one. Yeah, that was a good one. Okay. So week 6, not a ton of this. This had potential to be great. And then A&M kind of stinks. Max Johnson broke his hand, so it looks like Haynes King is the starter now for A&M. We don't know if Bryce Young's going to start there at Bama. Dylan Gabriel's out. It might be Ben's guy, Darrell Bevel, starting for Oklahoma, or General Booty. He may be starting at quarterback for Oklahoma. Quinn Ewers is playing. So Red River Shootout is a little different. But what we do have, we have a couple good ranked versus ranked matchups. First, college game day going to Lawrence this week. TCU is a 6.5 point favorite.
6.5.
Yeah, it depends on where you look. We'll go 6.5 point favorite at Kansas. Total is 69.5. I'll just let you guys know now my lock's in this game, so I'll save that for the end. Ben, if you want to.
He's on TCU, Tommy.
Ben, if you want to lead us off here.
His lock's TCU -6, probably.
No.
Chuck's just so disrespectful to Kansas every single week. I've been betting on them every week. Now that they're ranked, they're probably going to lose this game.
I'm riding the hype. Everyone thinks.
But I'm riding Kansas. I bet them every week. Kansas -6.5. Go Jayhawks. They're a football school now. Feeling like 2007.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a perfect place for bettors to they think TCU just marked OU and
at home.
Kansas somehow still hasn't lost. It's a no-brainer. Take TCU -7. Never.
Kansas at home. 3 sold-out crowds in a row. How can you not bet them, Chuck? You're so disrespectful to Jayhawk Nation.
You don't know what my lock is.
Smile looks like he has
You hate Kansas. Kansas is biting you in the butt every week because you keep betting against them.
Next game, Tennessee at LSU. Tennessee, I keep exiting this app. Give me a second. Tennessee is a 3-point favorite on the road. 11 a.m. kickoff. A total of 65. Tommy, lead us off here.
I got Texas or Tennessee. not Texas.
Welcome.
I love Hendon Hooker. He's my Heisman. What was the over-under?
65.
Oh my god. I'm gonna go with the under and hammering Tennessee just because I have a crazy hate for Ed O. I know he's not there anymore, but
You should like LSU. They got rid of him. They fired his ass.
They left the Giants, and then Ed O is just he's not for me.
Ben, what do you think?
I'm going to be the opposite. Ed O is awesome. Brian Kelly is not. Plus, this is a rat line. Like, Tommy, you're square. LSU's going to win this game outright. +3 at home against Tennessee, a far better team.
I'm willing.
That's 2 little points.
I don't want to bet.
LSU will win this game outright somehow. I don't know how because they're not as good as Tennessee, but they're going to win this game.
They won't.
I'm with Ben on this one. LSU +3. Tennessee's defense just isn't very good, and they did have a bye week, but maybe a little emotional letdown. Anthony Richardson threw for like 400 against them. He's not very good. So I'll back LSU.
He's really good.
At home. I'll back LSU at home. Anthony Richardson threw his first touchdown pass against Tennessee.
He's really good. He's my number 1 QB in the country.
Who's 2? Levis?
Yeah, probably.
So LSU, I'll take them getting the points.
No, number 2 is the guy on Kansas. I don't know his name.
Okay.
I don't know his name either.
That's disrespect. I know his name.
What is it?
I'm disrespectful.
Is it Jaden McDaniels?
No, it's not that. All right.
Okay.
Moving on to Utah at UCLA.
First name starts with a J. I think.
It's Jalen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got that part right.
Daniels.
Oh, I was close.
Oh, instead of E in Jalen. Okay, Utah at UCLA. UCLA is a 3.5-point underdog at home in the Rose Bowl. Total 64.5. Ben, where do you sit on this one?
Yeah, we bet UCLA last week. They won a big game. I actually think they win again this week. I'm going to take them outright. I think they beat Utah, and then Utah beats USC next week. And then it's kind of just a roller coaster in the Pac-12. I'm going to stick with Eagles legend Chip Kelly. And I think Tommy's probably going to pick Utah because he seems like square.
I was going to say, I don't really have a lot to elaborate off of that. I mean, I'm with you on that. I took UCLA +3.5. Literally no explanation to it. I really like DRT, so I don't know. Utah's just not that exciting.
They have a fun quarterback.
Oh yeah.
They do. I'm also gonna go UCLA +3.5. It is a look ahead for Utah, and maybe UCLA's, finding a rhythm here. This also seems like a weird line to me at only being 3.5, especially the way Utah's kind of dominated UCLA recently. But I'll roll with Bruins at home +3.5. Okay. Next game, Florida State at NC State. Both teams coming off tough losses. NC State is a 3-point favorite at home. The total is 50.5. Tom, what do you think about this game?
Again, this is another one where I didn't really like. I don't like ACC football.
ACC football's fine.
Well, you like ACC football, man?
Yeah, I do like ACC football.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably just gonna lean with NC State here. Again, no particular reasoning. I just going with the home team, I guess. What was the over under 50?
50.5.
50.5.
I'll take the under on that too. 28-17 NC State. You heard
that. That's a short play, Tom, because I'm also on the under. I don't really like the point spread in this game at all. And I think this is going to go under. I don't really like this game to go over. I don't trust either of these offenses that much. So I'll roll with Tommy.
I think Ben stole my notes because I was literally going to say all the same things. I was going to say this. I like this game to go under, and I don't like either side in this game, so that makes it easy. Us three are all in the under in that game.
That just sounds like a fade, if you ask me.
Any other games you want to discuss a little more in depth before we get to our cards here?
No,
Nothing.
I'm excited to share my picks first time. I didn't come with as many as you typically bring, but
all right. Do you want to start us off as actually, yeah, I'll read off Ferry's first. What we won't tell the audience here is that he had SMU and they got boat race last night. Okay, Kansas +7. I'm gonna read his notes too. I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. Florida -11. Mizzou can't get up again. UT Oklahoma over 65.5, a tradition like none other. Utah UCLA, Utah -4.5. I still think UCLA stinks. Wisconsin Northwestern, Wisconsin -10, new coach game.
Oh.
Alabama A&M, Alabama -24. A&M bad. Fuck Jimbo, revenge game. BC Clemson, BC +20.5. Red bandana game. I did not know that.
Oh my god. I knew it was a red bandana game. That pick stinks.
LSU +3. Tennessee in look ahead spot. Who does Tennessee play next? Also, can you look past
Bama?
Oh, do they? Oh,
maybe.
I think you're right because third Saturday in October. Yeah, that's their rivalry name. I don't know if you knew that.
The Red October.
Third Saturday in October. Yeah, it's Bama next week. Yeah, maybe look ahead.
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like you wouldn't look past Death Valley, but maybe that's Alabama's.
I agree.
You agree with who? Me or Ferry?
You.
Yeah. Okay. And then his lock, I guess I'll save. I'll save his lock, and then Tom, lead us off here.
Gotcha. I'm coming with you with 5 picks. Chuck, make sure you write these down because I'm telling you I'm going 5-0 this week.
All right.
We're going to start with Maryland -3 against Purdue. If you think there's a shot in hell that Tunga Jr. is going to come off an L after his brother was doing this with his hands, there's zero chance.
I like that pick.
I'm moving to my favorite conference, the MAC. Ohio -11 versus Akron. Never, ever bet on Akron, like a team named the Zips. That's always been my mindset. I've been betting Maction for like 3-4 years now, and I always bet against Akron because they suck consistently. And Ohio loves to put up numbers, so I give you a -11 there. Auburn +30 against Georgia. Georgia hasn't covered a fat spread, and since they played Spencer Rattler, and I don't really count him as a college quarterback, so I don't really think Auburn's going to be the team to give that up. Then I was actually looking for this line. I couldn't find it anywhere. It's UCF -whatever against Temple. They have
Okay.
We're taking at -10, 20, 30. I'd probably go up to 35 or 34. 34 is like where I'd stop, but hammer that. I'm probably going to bet against Temple every game. Like, it is like the worst football program to like ever exist. They're actually talking about getting rid of it potentially because of how much it costs them to rent out the link.
See, I told you. I said that.
When?
I've been saying this for years that Temple needs to get rid of their program. They're wasting alumni money.
It's actually ridiculous. And then, like I said, I have no faith in my college and that kind of.
Is it at the bounce house?
Say it again.
Is it at the bounce house? Is it at UCF?
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Bounce house.
Yeah, their stadium's nicknamed the bounce house.
Kind of electric. That's all the more
because you just bounce in there.
They have a 2017 national championship like thing hanging up there too.
That's pathetic. I actually.
They deserve it.
Are you on Temple now? Are you on Temple +30 now because of that?
That's whatever.
Not to swing it. And then my last pick before my lock is, I know Ben has a bunch of school pride in Pitt, Right.
Oh my God.
I'm going to take VTech plus 14.5. I mean, Ben, you're not.
Is that just because you're disrespectful as fuck, or is that you actually
smart.
like Vontae for some reason?
Sucks. Pickett sucks. Big ketchup bottle to Acrisure Stadium sucks. Like there's nothing going for him right now.
That does suck, yeah.
A two touchdown line is going to make Slovis sweat. I know he looks at it before every game. There's no way. Look, I'm picturing.
I'm surprised you knew the name of the quarterback.
They're going to be, of course, they're going to be up 10. He's going to be like, all right, like I have a bunch of boys that need to cover.
What, they're going to be up 13-3 late in the fourth.
Yes, and then he's going to 14.5, and he's going to throw a big pick. That's it.
Maybe, as long as we win.
So Maryland
need 8.5. Need over 8 wins this year, Tommy. As long as they get the job done.
I'm sprinkling a unit on all of these, and then I'm going to throw probably a unit on parlaying them all together, which makes no sense, but I love it. Do I do locks now, or do I save it?
Now save it
for later.
All right. So I have ECU plus 3.5 at Tulane. LSU plus 3. UL Monroe plus 13.5 against Coastal. I think Coastal gets too much respect still for how good they were. UL Monroe homecoming, and they got waxed last year. They gave up like 60 to Coastal Carolina. I think they can keep this close. Keep it inside of 13.5. Nebraska minus 3 in Piscataway tomorrow night. Also tomorrow night, San Jose State minus 6.5 against UNLV. This, Tommy, you're not really aware of how I feel about this team, but this will shock Ben. USC minus 12.5 against Washington State. The USC somewhere between almost kind of losing to Arizona State and scoring 60 points on all these other teams. I think that they'll cover this game against Washington State. If it was in Washington State, I'd feel a little differently. But Florida minus 11 against Missouri. This is a letdown for Missouri, and now Florida has what did I say?
Missouri.
No, we did not.
Florida minus 11 versus Missouri. Bounce back for Florida. Bounce back for Florida too. They just have better athletes than Missouri, and they won't get up for this one. Under 54.5. Air Force, Utah State, two teams that like to run the ball. Iowa State plus 2 versus Kansas State. One of these times I'm going to be on the right side of Iowa State. This one also feels like a rat to me, them only being 2-point dogs at home against Kansas State. I felt like Kansas State would have been like 6-7. So I'll take Iowa State. Notre Dame minus 3.5 versus BYU. Catholics versus Mormons in Sin City. Notre Dame has a huge advantage up front. BYU doesn't defend the ball well at all, or defend the run well at all, and Notre Dame should be able to move effectively. Stanford plus 7 against Oregon State. That loss to Utah felt like almost a season killer for Oregon State. They got absolutely blasted. Stanford can keep this within a touchdown at home. And Vanderbilt plus 17.5 at home against Ole Miss. Vanderbilt is not Vanderbilt's not as bad as they've been in years past, and Ole Miss offensively isn't as prolific as they've been. Vanderbilt can keep this inside 3 scores. Then my lock, I'm saving Ben.
Okay, so do not take this bet. I bet them last week. They covered Nebraska minus 3 at Rutgers. Chuck has it too. 50-50. Don't take it. It's ugly. Memphis minus 2.5 versus Houston. Memphis is 4-1, I believe. At home, big Friday night game. I think the crowd's going to be up minus 2.5. San Jose State minus 6.5 versus at UNLV. Chuck has been on the right side of San Jose State most of the year. Similar to me, I trust this team to win by a touchdown. LSU plus 3 versus Tennessee. That's a rat line. LSU wins outright. Kansas plus 7 versus TCU. I think they win that game outright. Mississippi State minus 9.5 versus Arkansas at home. I think Arkansas is losing steam. I don't think they're as good as most people thought they were. Texas minus 9.5 versus Oklahoma. Hook 'em. UCLA plus 3.5 versus Utah. Pitt minus 12 or minus 14 at home in the old big ketchup bottle versus Va Tech. Rivalry game. I think No, Juicy gets them back. I think they win. Ohio State -27 at Mississippi at Michigan State. I can't talk today. And whatever the first half is. Duke -3.5 at Georgia Tech. This seems kind of fishy that they're 3.5-point favorites at Georgia Tech after Georgia Tech won. I think they could win this game big. I think Georgia Tech still stinks. Clemson -20 at BC. BC stinks. Sorry, red bandana game. USC -12.5 versus Wazoo. I'm with you with USC, Chuck. Kentucky -6.5 versus South Carolina, I believe.
Yep.
I think they just get it done. They're a better team. Better
No Will
players.
Levis. Does no Will Levis matter to you? Although he sucks.
No, Will. So this is not on my.
So
card.
it went from 10 to 6. So I'm assuming he's not playing. That's the only it hasn't been ruled
If
official.
Will Levis plays, this is on my card. If he does not, this will not be.
But if he,
gotta choose
that's
now.
not how that works.
Choose right now.
Finance is not on my card. This game's on my card. I'm gonna
Well, no,
bet it.
you can no, but it can be on your card if he's ruled active and the line is appropriately priced.
Yeah. I'll change it to
okay,
whatever
all right,
it is.
all right, got
I'll
it,
change
got
it to
it,
whatever
got
it is. I'm
Got
not
it.
betting.
I thought you were trying to pull a fast one.
No.
He's gonna lock in the race.
Yeah.
Notre Dame -3.5 versus BYU. Unranked home favorite against a ranked team. Got to do it, even though I hate Notre Dame.
And they're not
Iowa-
at home.
Oh, this isn't at Notre Dame.
It's in Las Vegas.
Oh, well, that's home for Notre Dame. I feel like
Okay.
Notre Dame travels. And Iowa, Illinois under
There's
36.5.
Timmy Bang Bong. There he goes.
Iowa, Illinois under 36.5. NC State, Florida State under 15.5. Oregon State -7 at Stanford. I'm opposite side either. Chuck, I like Oregon State. UConn -5.5 at FIU. That's an ugly game.
Yeah, it
UTSA
is.
-6.5 versus Western Kentucky. And then my lock,
All right.
which I can say now if you want.
Yeah, you can say no.
Georgia State, Chuck's boys at home -2.5 versus Georgia Southern. They're 1-4 at home favorites against I think 3-1 team. So seems like a sharp play to me. Chuck is always clamoring about how Georgia State's good. So I'll roll Georgia State at home -2.5.
Beat Army last week on the road. Outright.
That's
Set
hard to
8-point
do.
dogs, yeah. I like it. Tom.
So my horse cock lock of the week is a leg in the, I don't know if you guys have heard of the Fuck the Cardinals Parlay that's going on this weekend if you're a Philly fan.
Have not
You're
heard of
taking
it.
the Phillies, you're taking the Eagles.
That makes sense. Okay.
I didn't know whether to take it. I'm a Phillies fan. I'm not an Eagles fan. But then I added one more leg that's playing the Cardinals, and it just so happens to be my favorite college football team. It's the Chippewas -7.5. So I am hammering that. They are
Who do they play?
playing Ball State. So it's the two of the best quarterbacks in the MAC going at it. It's going to be high scoring. So I mean, maybe side take the over in that, which is like 64.5 or something like that. But I don't know. A 1-4 Chippewas at home. They're hungry against the 2-5 Ball State. I'm saying
Fire up Chips.
I'm saying fuck up.
Chippewa.
I'm taking the Eagles. I'm taking the Phillies, and I'm hammering
The Chippewas.
I'm gonna
All
take
right.
the red straight.
I like it.
What the Chippewas?
Georgia State and the Chippewas. Big name games.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm a Maction guy.
Ferry's lock was Maryland, so he's with you, Tom. He said
Yeah.
Purdue in letdown spot. This is no.
Ooh.
It nothing to do with Tua.
no,
No
nothing to do
respect.
with
He
that.
doesn't care about Tua.
Can we
He
trust
doesn't
this
respect
guy?
injuries.
And then my lock of the week, TCU -6.5, going on the road to Lawrence. Kansas had a horseshoe up their ass last week. 3 missed field goals by Iowa State inside 40 yards by a freshman kicker to escape. They should have lost. They should not have covered either. Kansas has played horrible teams. Duke, I think like UT Martin. They've played all bad teams. Iowa State is clearly not a good team. And TCU, number 7th offensively in EPA, number 1st in rushing EPA. Kansas, 116 out of 131 defensive teams in EPA and 106th against the rush. Their offense looked horrible last week against Iowa State. I don't expect it. Now that they're stepping up in class, in consecutive weeks. I don't think their offense is going to look good. Having game day at home for the first time for a program like this, it is nerve-wracking. Look at App State a couple weeks ago. They barely escaped with a Hail Mary. Kansas is of that, hey, we never get game day. All the eyes are on you, getting the interviews with Herb Street and all that. It's going to be tough, and I don't think they'll live up to it. TCU coming in and will lay
App State won
down.
that game.
Jayhawks eat frogs.
They were 14-point favorites and won on a Hail Mary.
So they won. Using that game, they won that game.
We play this game against the spread, buddy. We don't play it on the
saying
scoreboard.
they won. They won.
Take the money line then if you're such a hater.
I am gonna bet Kansas outright. I said that. I like Kansas.
It's reminiscent of UNC playing
Jaden
St.
Daniels.
Peters.
Jaden
Daniels.
or
Jalen. Who was horrible.
Jalen Daniels.
Who was
Good
horrible
quarterback.
last week.
He's my number 2 eyeball test QB in college football.
Who's your number one?
Sheldon Richardson.
Anthony. Same thing.
Anthony Richardson.
Austin Richards.
He's
Sheldon
very
Richardson and Jaden Daniels.
Is there a way
Twice.
to track your guys' picks? Is it you